All right, this is session 3 of Urban Shadows Violet Crowns, session 3 of 4 now. We lost a session because of some Gen Con. So before we begin, I want to just give you guys each a chance to throw out whether you would like to have a particular scene. Like if you have any ideas for scenes you'd like to happen this session based off what's been going on or based off, your character's connections or things you think might be going on. If you just have any ideas of scenes you want to have, throw those out now. Let's talk about them and see if we can make them happen.
Yeah, I would like a scene later where I just hunt down Carl.
Oh, cool. All right,
Um,
perfect.
yeah,
Our contractor.
our contractor. Yeah.
Awesome. Anybody else?
I think I'd like a scene with an elder vamp where I discuss going after Gregor.
Okay.
Kind of asking for permission.
For permission. Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, I like that.
Likewise, I would like to have a scene involving Grigor asking me to get that one relative of Gabby's.
Yeah, that's good because we have that connection, right? Because Gabby owes Grigor money, so
yeah,
that's pretty good. I'm into that. And Mike, what do you think?
I'm pretty eager to cross paths with the other characters that I haven't run into too much so far. I also don't want to keep ignoring my my little daughter. So like, I think it might even be. I mean, I don't want to be like out of the actually like babysitting her the whole time, but like, I don't know, like maybe I like irresponsibly tow her along for some stuff. I don't know. I would feel bad if Jerome is completely ignoring his daughter for the whole campaign while his wife gives a about it.
But so I'd rather sweet corruption. Come on.
The terrible father points.
Right, exactly. Cool. Well, I think that sounds doable. As far as like connecting you up with the other two characters you haven't interacted with, that's Frankie and I guess Landon, right?
Yeah. I mean, I've sort of got a reason to head to Hippie Hollow anyway because I want to bring whatever's in that vault
to Christine, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, well then let's just get going. I think I want to kick off with, let's check the beginning, start of session, see if there's anything we should do start of session. I don't think so. I don't think that move, the session intro move doesn't feel good right now. We've got a lot going on, and we've only got 2 more sessions, so let's just roll forward. As far as starting scene, I think I want to begin in the vault, or at least down in the Texas Basement Museum exhibit area. You've just killed 2 of these maggot creatures, which constitutes half of the college kids that went missing. This is for Jerome and Gabby. Jerome, you have the codes to the vault. I think it's like a keypad thing, and the paperwork totally has the code. You don't need to like do anything special with that. And additionally, there are a number of like objects and items throughout the museum that are potentially of interest to you both. If you want to spend the time to go through there, there's actually a custom move associated with it, but it's up to you. I mean, you may not have a lot of time here, so especially because you've been firing off guns and shit. Okay, so like, there's a good chance the cops are going to show up pretty soon. So Jerome, what do you do?
I mean, first things first, I got to check the vault.
All right, cool. Opening the vault is no problem. When you do so, you're presented with a very, very interesting scene. This is outside of the vault. Like you punch in the code, the vault door pops open, and inside the room, the vault is a perfectly smooth metallic room. The floors and the ceilings, the floor and the ceiling and the walls, they all seem to be made of like a single piece of smooth, like aluminum.
Mm-hmm.
The walls and floor are gently vibrating. There's a hum, like perceptible once you open the vault door. And in the center of this room, as you look in, there is a perfectly shiny black obelisk just in the room. Seemingly, it's unclear if it's fixed in position or not. That you have to go inside to check that out. But it's an unnerving sight. Jerome, what do you do?
I think I'm gonna walk towards it. Like in the back of my head, I'm kind of wondering, like, did like Christine want me to get this thing, or what was really the goal here for her? Like,
Yeah.
I can't actually. I'm kind of like scanning my head, like trying to remember what she really wanted out of this. As I'm sort of like almost absent-mindedly, like walking towards it.
I think Gabby, as he walks in front, Gabby's going to grab him by the shoulder and say, "Hold on, let's take a look at this first."
Do you
And I
stop
think-
him before he walks in?
I'd say after he walks into the room, but before he gets to the obelisk.
Gets close to it. As you step into the room, Jerome, mark corruption.
Okay.
You step into the room and you immediately feel the power of this black obelisk. Like it's very present to you. You feel it. It almost feels like it's like there's something emanating off the obelisk that seems to like almost caress you, right? Like you feel its energy, its force reaching out and kind of like gently stroking you a little bit, right? How do you react? How does it make you feel?
I think mostly curious. I mean, Jerome, he maybe recognizes on some level this is dangerous, but that's like not really his like first impulse here. Is like his first impulse is like, what the hell is this thing? Because he can feel like that power and he like wants to know like what's behind it, what's going on with it.
And Gabby, you said you stopped him before he goes any further. Gabby, do you go in as well?
So basically, if he's made it far enough in that I have to enter the room, I will.
Yeah.
I think I'm kind of grabbing him to say, "Hey, wait, before you do this, let's check this place out."
I'll leave out of character. I'll leave it up to you, Stephen. If you want to mark a corruption, you can go in and stop
Okay,
him.
no problem. But there's definitely I get the same.
How does it make you feel?
I think it makes me tingle and makes me even more concerned. I've been in places, that have extreme power, or among beings that have extreme power before, and this is dangerous. Is what I see.
Nice. Well, so Gabby, you stopped him. What do you say? Let's just have that scene.
Yeah. Wait. Before you look at this, we should kind of, check it out first. So,
We don't have a whole lot of time, Gabby. I am checking it out.
I know, but what you're saying is there's something really dangerous here, and if you go rushing in, it could blow everything up. So I think what I'd like to do is I'd like to extend my senses in some way. Would that be... I don't know what that would be.
Could be, if you don't have a move that I guess if we can handle it a couple of different ways. What are you trying to learn, I suppose?
Get a better feel for what this is. Basically, extend my, kind of extend senses a little bit. And if I get slapped, hey, let's book it. If I don't get slapped, then, grab it and let's go.
We'll call it investigate a place of power. Roll plus faction. It'll be power for this one.
Okay.
Or no, wild. Sorry, it'll be wild.
That is an 8.
Okay. Let's see what happens on the 7 and 9. On a hit, you see below the surface to the reality underneath.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you what you see. Tell me how you know this, but what you sense is that this obelisk was here before all the rest of this. Like, it was here before there was a museum, before there was an Austin, before it was civilized. This obelisk has been here. How do you know it?
I think I get a flashback through the bloodline of whenever I extend my senses. I think I get this flash from a generation ago there was a vampire that ran into this. A generation before that, and so on, back to the Neanderthal times or something like that. The very beginning, where there was a vampire that came across this in this place.
Nice, I like it. I'm going to cut away for a sec. Frankie, I think I want to retcon just slightly. I'd like for Frankie to have some scenes with the Fae before Landon goes into the lake. Because
Okay.
I think once Landon goes into the lake, it's going to get pretty hot. So,
yeah, we're just making out on the shore or whatever.
Right? Yeah. There's like an initial like flirtation, right? All that stuff.
Right.
So,
Kind of the foreplay.
right. Exactly. So then, Frankie, you're there specifically to talk to Christine, right, and tell her a prophecy or something, right?
Yeah.
About Gregor. But what do? How do you approach it?
Well, I'm clearly nervous. So, I don't know. So, what's like, what the scene is? It's just like a whole bunch of naked people, and some of them are.
Yeah, it's like there were. As I recall, the way I described it last time is there were basically like two parties going on. There was like the one with more like mundane, normal hippies, and then there were like the very beautiful Fae hippies like, having their party as well. And you guys were kind of like pushing towards that group, right? And so finding Christine is no problem. You can just ask around. It's not a big deal.
Right.
I guess what I want to know is like, would you be doing anything else in addition to that?
I suppose like yeah, I'd want to talk to some of the folks about like more like I mean shoot. I guess I would like to have a scene with Landon at some point.
Okay. Yeah, we can kind of back up and like kind of do all that before Landon eventually goes into the
right. So I think I think what I want to happen here is like Landon and I are kind of like going through the party and we're just kind of chatting about kind of what's been going on. And because like he kind of seemed to need some advice after the bloody bar scene. So I don't know, and I'm kind of feeling weird about that ghost thing that just happened. So I kind of want to like
let's have that scene. Yeah, let's say that like you've been making like fuck me eyes with Colton all night. Okay, Landon, does that sound good? And you can we'll get back to that in a minute. So go for it.
So Landon, what's been going on? You were really worried, and then I went out and waited for you, and then you said no. So I'm just curious, what are we doing? Mm-hmm. What's been going on with you?
Well, sometimes I get called by my boss, and I gotta go and do things for him.
Yeah. Is there? Do you ever eat ghosts?
I think I'd like to interrupt just momentarily and suggest that this might be a great opportunity for one or both of you to do figure someone out, since you guys are having this combo right now and you're kind of asking some questions to each other.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So whoever wants to do it can roll it. And you would just roll plus mind.
Plus mind. My mind is no, my mind is okay. I'm gonna roll anyway. So I got a 7.
Okay, so on a hit you hold 2, and on a 7 to 9, Landon holds 1 as well.
Ooh,
so while you guys are having this scene, you can just interrupt the scene as you guys are having it to ask those questions of each other.
Okay.
Okay.
In or out of character. So.
All right. So I guess I'm gonna ask the first question. what is your character worry might happen?
Yeah, so I'm talking about my boss, and you can tell that I'm like actually afraid, and it's not so much that it's something that I have to do, but that when I'm talking about like when my boss calls and I have to go, it's not like I have to be responsible. It's like I have to go or else. You know, it's like I have no choice but to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you see, you know, it's hard having kind of a dickish boss, isn't it? Huh? You know, I mean, my boss is pretty scary too. I mean, maybe not as scary as a demon, but man, what I feel stuck sometimes, man. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm talking to Landon.
And so Landon looks at you and he's like, well, what are we doing here right now?
I gotta convince this woman that I had some sort of vision that said that she needs to go back with Grigor, and you know, like, it's not good because he's really scary, and that, you know, like, you should have seen some of the things he's done to his last partners. I mean, you know, like, he's a necromancer, so there's that, and that's all really strange. I mean,
and so you wanted me to come along in case what, you need some demonic backup in case things go wrong?
Yeah, that, and I just need more my moral compass, and you know, you're my dream interpreter. You help me out with these things, and I'm just scared. I'm just scared of what's happening here right now. And you know, I just saw a ghost get eaten by a vampire. Did you know they can do that? Did you know that?
Wait,
I didn't know that.
You said a ghost?
Yeah. Well, cause Grigor's been like, I mean, he's got these bottles that have ghosts inside them, and it's kind of, he's selling them to vampires, I guess, because I guess vampires die and stuff, but like from old age or something, and they need ghosts to keep them alive. I don't know. It's all very complicated, and I'm just trying to survive here, and I don't really see if
that's a tantalizing bit of information for you, right?
Yeah, yeah, I'm thinking that too. So how can I get your character to play me into Grigor's game?
Oh man, well, she's terrified of Grigor, so
exactly.
So there's a problem right there. Let's see. How could you get my character? How could you get Frankie to play you in? I suppose like there's a sense, you know, like, you know, she's terrified of him, so she kind of wants out of the whole like crazy game of what's going on with Grigor, because she's terrified that
maybe
he might
take her spot.
Yeah. So what I do is
yeah,
I kind of like put my hands on your arms, and I'm like, Frankie, listen, look, I know that this, you know, Grigor has been freaking you out. You want me to be the badass? Fine, I can be the badass. Just, you know, get out of my way. Like, put me in charge here.
You know what? I would appreciate that. I mean, all I want to do is sell drugs and have a good time. But Grigor's getting me into shit that I don't want to deal with. You know, it's like it's bad enough that I see the future and shit, but like I just want to lead a normal life, very very calm. I know too much. And it's freaking me out, and I don't know how I live with a necromancer. Like, how does that happen? How does that happen? And you're a demon. I mean, my life, man. Yeah. I want you in charge. Please help me.
Awesome. You still have a question. Hold on to that for a second, Frankie.
Okay.
I'm going to cut over to the other group. All right, other group. So, Gabby, you kind of put your hand on. You stepped inside as well, and you felt all this, and you sensed it, and you learned that this is a very very ancient object. What do you do then with that information?
So I think I told Jerome. I said, "This is way out of our league. What are you going to do with this? This isn't something you could just take." Are you just here to take pictures and us leave?
I thought whatever was in this vault she wanted me to get. I mean, maybe there's some way I can get something off of this obelisk without taking the whole thing, because that's clearly going to be, pretty much impossible. But I don't think she's looking for just pictures. I mean, you can feel what's coming off of that thing. I mean, this sounds dumb as hell, but maybe I should just touch it, right? Like, maybe I'll get something off it like that, right? That's how it happens in movies sometimes.
If you touch this, it's been good knowing you.
Yeah.
I'll tell you guys out of character. There's custom. This is all part of sort of the Texas Museum custom move in the starter. And if you touch the obelisk, you're gonna mark 2 more corruption, and then you get to tell me about the ancient creature that used to live in these lands. So
yeah, I've got this thing open. I guess like that. The question is like, what else? I'm probably going to do that, but like, what is it that I can bring back to Christine to sort of like fulfill that? I guess that was like a debt, or I guess I promised that to her.
I think just whatever you learn probably would be good.
Is there a possibility that you could potentially take back some sort of siphon? Is there something that would connect you to this place?
I don't know. What do you think, Jason?
I don't think I follow. What do you mean, Stephen?
Oh, I mean, is there some way that he could put something down that would siphon off some of the power?
Oh yeah. I think Christine and her people will be satisfied if you just bring back like what you found and what you learned.
Knowledge.
Yeah, like just knowledge that you learned. So because I
think they'll be more satisfied if I touch it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, and that's what I'm saying. Like if you touch it, you'll learn some more, right? So yeah. But you risk corruption. Well, you don't risk corruption. You're definitely getting corruption if you do it.
That's fine. That's fine. I can live like that.
So, do you?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
We got to fill that corruption track.
So you're gonna owe me 2. So you'll have 1 spillover. You don't mark that gray box. You'll have 1 spillover, and then you'll get to mark. You'll get to take a corruption move here whenever as soon as we have a downtime, or as soon as we have a second. When you touch the obelisk, you get a vision of the creature that used to roam these lands during very, very ancient days, like really ancient, like prehistoric. Okay. Tell me. I don't think I want to. Mostly from Jerome. I just want to know, like, what does it want? Like, you get to fill that fiction in, Michael. What does the creature want? Generally or specifically, it doesn't matter.
It's out for blood. It wants violence and destruction.
So, like, it wants to destroy the city, possibly. Is that a good?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Right. And so what did you see in your vision?
Well, I kind of looked at the move a minute ago. This isn't exactly like ancient, but I was like almost like picturing this ancient god as like manifesting in like a multiple form, like a pack of riders. and they're all kind of part of this god. Like I'm picturing this like a couple hundred years back, probably not too much further, because if they're riding around on horses, like it wouldn't have been more than a couple hundred years ago. But I'm picturing them as this pack of like, you know, grinning, not skeletons, but like if a skeleton was just blood and muscle, basically, just like howling riders, like, you know, wearing all get ups, you know, chasing people down, and just, you know, getting blood any way they know how. It's not exactly ancient, but like that's kind of what I was thinking about a little bit looking at that.
I like that. Yeah, that's good. So you said they were kind of like bloody skeletal riders on horses?
I'm picturing not really skeletal, like more just like you can see like just like the muscle, like it's a flayed, like basically like a flayed person, basically. But definitely like a form of undead, I guess.
And so I'd like to say that maybe those were like servants of the creature. I think that's good. Because I think because I want to connect it back to what we think is in the lake, right? So
okay, cool.
Yeah. So once you experience this, Jerome, do you tell Gabby, or what do you do? How do you react?
I think I'm probably like a little bit like kind of momentarily like a little bit like shocked, a little bit taken aback. I think I just turned to her and said, like, let's get out of here.
Yeah, so I think the way this actually looks on screen is, you know, Jerome reaches out to touch it, and Gabby, you know, reaches out to stop him. No, and then everything kind of freezes. He has his vision, and then pulls back and says, "We got to get out of here." Yeah.
You're not tempted to touch it yourself, Gabby?
No.
You'd be smarter than that.
I've been through dangerous stuff before. These, you know. Yeah. Although the elders might be interested in knowing this is here if they don't already.
No, true. It's definitely valuable information. It makes you wonder what Mr. Appleby is doing, right?
Right.
Okay, good. Well, you guys can leave safely, and it's fine. Let's cut back to the conversation between Frankie and Landon. Frankie, you've got one more question. What do you want to ask?
Frankie, you're on mute.
Haha. My question is, I suppose, I guess I mean, what's your character hoping to get from me in this sort of, this sort of, you know, what do you want out of this?
So, after I tell you this thing about taking charge and you agree, I back up a little bit and I hesitate before I mention it. But I tell you, and look, there's some weird stuff going on with spirit trafficking in town, and I'm trying to get to the bottom of it. So, you know, if this is all related, then maybe you won't have this problem much longer.
Oh, well, I like the sound of that. Do you think we can get rid of Grigor, at least in this scenario that you are painting?
Do you want me to get rid of Grigor?
Does that seem?
I can get rid of Grigor for you.
Yeah.
I mean.
Ooh. Yeah. I mean, I'd like to be a part of it.
I don't think Charlie has plans for Grigor. And all of this spirit trafficking, you know, it's getting into, you know, otherworldly territory, and, you know, that's probably, you know, stepping in Charlie's turf a bit, and he'd probably be really happy if I, you know, snuffed it out. So, yeah, I mean, I can do you that favor if you want me to. you want me to
Oh.
take out Grigor along the way.
All right.
We just have to
I
figure out what's going on first before it happens.
Yeah. Okay. This sounds good. I like this idea, Landon. This is why I keep you around. This is why I like you. I really do. You've got a brain between those ears.
Let's just recap that conversation real quickly. So basically, Landon, you are going to like basically take over for Frankie in terms of like some of the, like, you're gonna get involved in Frankie's business with Grigor, right?
Yeah.
Possibly even like giving Frankie like an out. Is that correct? Does that sound right, Frankie?
Well, Frankie still wants to sell drugs, but
just
she doesn't
get
want
involved in the spirit stuff.
She wants to do this hard stuff.
I think
Frankie never managed her drugs.
Right. I think what I'm angling at is I'm seeing this as an opportunity to get Grigor out, and then I can take over that drug side of things, and then
I see. Oh, that's good. All right, you want to get Grigor out of the picture. Good.
Kind of, yeah, because I am terrified of him because he is a literal necromancer. But all I want to do is sell drugs and party and shit. And but when ghosts and vampires are involved, I'm getting a little scared. So that's kind of what my angle is here.
I love it. And Landon, you were trying to just get in close to Grigor to learn more about this ghost trafficking situation, right?
Yeah, and then I'll take him out. After I find out what I need to do.
I love it. So cutting back to the group real quick. Where do you guys head, each of you, once you are done at the museum? What is your next move? Gabby, where would you go?
I think I would go directly back to the Congress Street Bridge to talk to the elders. As soon as I make sure Jerome's okay and I ask him where he's headed. So let's have that scene. Jerome, where would you go? Jerome, where are you headed?
I think before I'm like, I don't know. I got to call my ex right now. It's the first thing he's got to take care of.
Good. I think it's probably good that you're around people. So, and then I'm going to head down to the Congress Street Bridge.
All right. Awesome. So you're going to Congress Street Bridge to talk to an elder. Perfect. And let's go to Jerome for a second.
Oh, God. All right.
So you were supposed to go talk to your ex-wife, get your daughter, or something. At least make nice, right? You're getting a text from Christine, and Christine says in her text, "Hey, how did museum thing go?"
I'm gonna text back all about it in the morning.
She's like, "In the morning? Question mark, question mark, question mark." We're having an amazing party down here. And then she name drops. You're close to Frankie, right? Of this group, or maybe Landon, or both. You have a connection to both of them, right?
Right. Okay, I've got a connection. And she texted me that I gotta call my ex first. I don't respond to the text. I do have to talk to her.
Yeah, I mean, Christine's the party's great. A couple of your friends are here. You should come down. So you call your wife. What's her name? I forgot her name already. I don't even know if we named her. We may not have.
No, we did have a name on it a while ago. Where is it?
Possibly.
Naomi.
Ah, good.
Pop that in here. Yeah.
So Naomi.
Can't be that bad of a dad. I have to call her.
So she picks up and she's like, "Well, I was wondering when you were going to call back."
I go, I know. I'm sorry. I was out on a really, really, really important case. I hadn't realized the days had changed around. I hadn't realized I was supposed to be looking after our daughter tonight.
Jerome, this is the third time this month you've done this. This is the third time. I just spent the last hour consoling your crying daughter because she thinks her father doesn't love her anymore. It was a daughter, right? I can't remember. I think it was a daughter.
I think so, yes. We should put a name on the daughter soon.
Probably.
Actually, no, it was a son originally because he was Jerome the Third.
Got it, guys. Okay, Kaomi. Okay, Kaomi and Jerome the Third. That's right. All right, retcon. I just spent the last hour consoling your son because you're not here. This is the third time this month you've done this, Jerome. Come on.
Third time this month. That actually that can't be right. I say, look, I've been, I just had him last weekend.
Jerome, that was almost a month and a half ago.
I am not comfortable playing this.
Are you on your way,
Jason? I can't do it.
Please tell me you're on your way.
Yeah, I'm on my way. I'm on my way.
And she's like, all right, good. And she, hangs up. You get that text from Christine. So what's up? Are you coming down to Hippie Hollow? Question mark, question mark, question mark.
Gotta text back like, can't, gotta, watch after the boy.
And then she sends you like little sad face emojis, like, oh, boop, 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 boop. So you're gonna go hang out with the boy.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Good. Gabby. It's after working hours at the ledge, right? So I think probably hit the streets if you're trying to look for an elder.
Okay. Ooh, what is hit the streets with?
The faction you're going with, yeah. And who you're trying to look for specifically? Elder Langston?
I think we've named two elders. One is Langston and one is the Evelyn.
Yeah, the one who runs the cafe.
And what was the background of Langston?
Elder Langston he's a state senator. Yeah, he's a big power player in the ledge. So
yeah, so I think it would be Langston.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
And would you go to the roll?
I got a 6.
Ah. All right. Let's see here. Let's check your. Do you have that marked? You do have it marked. Okay, so you don't even get to mark anything either. Let me take a look at my notes real quick before I tell you what happens.
Sure.
You find Elder Langston. Where do you find him? Where does he hang out after hours?
So actually, I think that he is at a really nice restaurant, and he's actually with a young man that I don't recognize. So he's kind of in the middle of dinner. He's talking to someone else about something.
Yeah. And does he know you by sight?
I think he does. Yes.
Okay. So when you come in, you're not dressed for this restaurant, right? And I think the girl at the front, she's like, we have a dress code here, ma'am. I'm sorry, you can't come in like that. What do you do?
This is Austin. What are you talking about? There's never a dress code anywhere around here.
She's like, this is Congress Street. Maybe that flies in the rest of the city, but not here.
So I think I step out. I say, fine. And I step out onto the sidewalk, and I call Langston on his cell phone.
Good. I thought maybe you'd try to glamour her or something. He picks up, and he says, Gabby Reyes, I thought I saw you standing there in the lobby of the restaurant. Why don't you come in?
They wouldn't let me in, and I've got some business we should talk about. And I think it might be a good idea to do this sooner rather than later.
I'm glad. This is very, very fortuitous circumstance, Gabby. You just tell that little gal up front that you're here to see Senator Langston. I'll wave you over.
Thank you, sir. And I'm gonna hang up and go back inside, and I'm gonna say, "That's my table right there."
And she like looks, and like he kind of like nods and says, "Yeah, yeah." And she like rolls her eyes, and she's like, "You want to see a drink menu or something?"
No, man. And I
And
just
she's giving you
cried right
so
over
much
there.
like shade and side eye. Yeah, she like step over there. He's got this little guy with him. I think like a younger kid. It looks like kind of maybe a sugar daddy situation. It's a little unclear. College kid, and he's like, he says, Thomas, why don't you go to the bar and get us a few beers, huh? And he's like, what? Just and he kind of ushers him away, right? So that you two are alone.
Mm-hmm.
He's a tall man, gray hair. He looks a little bit like the actor who played Herman Munster, but as he got older, I can't remember what his name is, but like real tall and like gaunt, like long face, and he says, what can I do for you, Gabby?
Well, first things first, can we talk business here?
Sure.
Okay. Do you know what's in the Texas State History Museum?
Objects related to Texas history?
And way pre-Texas history.
Very interesting. When you say pre-Texas history, you mean something ancient.
I do. And
something older than the elders.
Well, I only know a few of you, but maybe. And I'm thinking hushed tones. I'll tell him what I saw and what I felt. I'll leave out that anyone else was there.
He says, that's very interesting information. You can take a debt on him because he's not about to pay you back for this. So,
okay.
You want to just note that? Because we'll forget later. Well, maybe we wouldn't. I don't know. He says, I'm glad you're here, though, Gabby. You know, we got this night nom situation. We're trying to get everything moved down a little more south of the border, a little further south of the river, right? Well, we've got a bit of a problem. There's a human woman. She works on the tech end of things, the app, these newfangled things. I don't understand them. But this human woman working on the app, she's starting to poke around a little bit and figuring out a little bit what we're up to. It's making some of the others uncomfortable. We don't need nosy humans figuring out what we're up to around here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So does she need to be steered off or does she need to be gone?
Well, I'll leave that up to you, Gabby Reyes. If you feel the need to feed, well, it's just your natural instinct. I certainly can't blame you.
And who is this woman?
And he gives you the name. He gives you Kaomi's name.
Okay.
And address and everything.
And this is Jerome's ex?
Right. And I don't know if you know that or not. So.
Okay. Well, yeah. So, Mr. Langston, I have one other thing. There seems to be someone who's growing in power in this city, and I think he's a threat. Are you aware of the encroachment of Mr. Gregor?
Necromancer. Yes. I'm very aware of him. He serves his purposes. He has a certain amount of talent when it comes to aiding our kind. The history on these sorts of things can be pretty dangerous, though. Necromancers who get too powerful eventually learn how to fuck with vamps, and that's not good. I agree. He's a bit of a mess.
Would it be okay to make sure he went away?
I'm going to cut there.
Okay.
All right, so back in Hippie Hollow. What's the plan, you guys?
Does Frankie still need to try and get Christine to sleep with Grigor?
I think Frankie's just supposed to bring Christine a prophecy of how the way Grigor explained it was like he wants Christine to think that like they're destined to be together because of prophecy. Right?
Okay.
Now, however Christine reacts is up to Christine, but that's
right. Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna do that. But I am gonna go to Christine, and I'm going to warn her about Grigor.
Good.
Yeah.
So Christine is there. What does she look like, Jerome? She's your girlfriend.
We established earlier that she's established too much. She's kind of got like brown, like kind of wavy hair. I'm picturing her being white. We kind of established before that she's like, you know, someone who like kind of like buttons down and goes to work during the week, but like kind of on the weekends or evening like likes to party, I guess, which it would be now.
Right. Good. So you see Christine there. You know her maybe by reputation, or maybe you ask around a couple of people, you'll find her pretty easily. It's no big deal. And she'll even see you and she'll say, "Hey, I heard you were looking for me."
Yeah, Christine. Oh, Tina. Come here. It's so nice to see you. What's been going on?
Well, we're just, it's a party. We've got some really nice meads and honey wines and other things that like Fae drink, right? The sun is low in the sky. The moon is already getting high.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fantastic evening. What else do you want to know?
Is this about when I would notice something wrong about the lake?
Yeah, I think you're, well, you might notice that like, yeah, you might. I think you might notice like that because I think we decided last time you saw something like actually beneath the water, right?
Yeah.
Something big, like kind of roaming around or whatever.
Right. Yeah. And that's so. And then I see that, and then I look at Christine, and I'm just like, Christine, something bad is going to happen. Something very bad. You need to be careful, Christine. You really do. Grigor wants you. And I don't know if I can do anything to stop him. And there's something in this lake. Do you know about something in this lake, Tina?
So let's take it one at a time. Let's handle the Grigor situation.
Okay.
The lake thing, she'll kind of just like blow off because like they have secret plans to the lake, and she probably can't be dissuaded from those. But the Grigor thing, she's like, so how do you know Grigor? Do you work for him?
Yeah. Well, and I live in the house. The German house.
Got it.
And then I was able to, get a job, and so yes, I work with him. And he has his eyes on you again, Tina. I don't know, I don't know how to stop him.
I like this. I think she's okay. So I think just to kind of push the situation a little bit, I think she'll respond like, she'll say, yeah, Grigor's pretty, he can be kind of a mess, but, he and I dated for a long, long time. I mean, I'm seeing this guy right now, Jerome, and he's okay. But, like, Grigor, we have a history. It's, they were interesting days. sometimes you want a guy who's, a little dangerous. She seems more tantalized than she should to you.
Oh. Well, he's kind of evil, right? Though, like, he's not a good guy.
Let's do persuade an NPC. Roll with heart.
Roll heart. Oh, heart. Okay. Oh, that's my shit skill too. All right. That is. Oh gosh, that is a 7. That's just barely a 7.
Okay, yeah, like it. She's like, well, maybe I could like put Grieger out of my mind if my current boyfriend were here right now. He didn't want to party tonight.
Well, those things happen, right? I mean, what?
She's like, oh my God, Frankie, I have such a great idea.
Yeah, I like ideas.
What if we take a selfie, you and I, like kind of a sexy selfie, and then we send it to my boyfriend to convince him to come down here?
Okay, yeah, that sounds great.
I love it. I'm going to. So you guys do that, and she's like, you guys take we can describe what you can make this intimacy if you want. If you want this to be an intimate thing with her, I'm cool with that.
Well, actually, I'm thinking of skimming the surface with her.
Oh, good. Okay, I'm into that too.
Yeah.
How does that work? When you touch someone? Oh, great. Roll spirit.
Right. Because I also want to know what the hell is going on with that lake.
Yeah.
All right. Oh my goodness. That's a 12. So
3.
good.
Ask away.
Let's see. Why are you keeping secrets?
She knows what's in the lake. All of her companions know what's in the lake. And they know it's dangerous, but they're trying to figure it out. They're trying to figure out how they can use it, the thing that's in the lake.
What is your character's hidden pain?
You will see a vision of Frankie, except she's dressed differently. She's dressed in like...
Of Christine?
I'm sorry, Christine. Yeah, sorry. You'll see a picture of Christine in your mind of her dressed in like sort of a flowing medieval sort of gown, right? With like a little diadem on her head. And the vision you have is like her watching her family like be basically like summarily executed by these other fae in what must be the fae realm. Like it's a very fantastical forest like setting, and you see that she wants revenge on this fae court that usurped her family, that overthrew them.
Uh-huh. And I suppose, who are you protecting?
She is currently protecting, I don't know if it's a who, but she definitely... I'm going to answer by saying who she's not protecting. How does that sound? That's kind of cheating a little bit. But she's not protecting Landon right now, because you get the distinct impression that they have designs on like feeding up Landon as a sacrifice to whatever's in the lake. Oh. And that might be right around the time you see Colton and Landon kind of like Colton kind of leading Landon into the lake. They're like waist deep at that point, right? Making out and stuff. So.
Oh shit!
We'll cut away from there. Colton, Landon. Landon, you're in. Colton is hot, right? I mean, he's, you know,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, depending on what type of guy you go for, he's kind of a smooth, you know, kind of like clean cut guy, but undeniably attractive. And, you know,
I'm going to seek the guidance of my patron and see what he wants me to do with him.
Oh, with Colton?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Do you have to roll for something, or is that a...
Yeah, I roll with spirit.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
That is an 8, so you're drawn further into the web. Keep your cool to make your own way. Okay. On a hit, the signs and signals are laid out before you. Take +1 forward if you follow the path.
Which move
Okay.
are we doing right now?
Tendrils in the Dark.
Oh, okay.
It's one of my moves.
Yeah, when you seek guidance from... Oh, I see. The rituals importance roll, spirit. Got it. You're drawn further into the web. Keep your cool to make your own way. Okay, I like that. So I think, yeah, I think you get a sense. I think when you're in the water, you get a sense that there is something in the water with you. And Charlie knows there's something in the water, right? And Charlie wants you to feed Colton to it. To turn the tables, so to speak.
Oh,
you have to keep your cool to avoid, basically, to kind of get out of that.
Okay.
Or to shrug it off or whatever.
All right. So we're making out. We're getting into the water. And I kind of prod Colton with my erection, and then I like bring my hands up and push him down.
Nice. We'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
Jerome, you just got a video text message from, or not a video, but a picture message, whatever that's called, photo from Christine and Frankie doing sexy things to one another in the picture, and then with a little message that says "Wish you were here!" ! Exclamation point! Exclamation point! Exclamation point! Maybe you're looking at this as you're walking up to the front door of your ex-wife's apartment. What do you do?
Sure. I can't, ignore the kid like 4 times in like 1 month. I can't do it.
You ring the doorbell and you hear like "Daddy, Daddy," right? And like, the kid runs, and you can tell he's been crying like when he comes to the door. And Kaomi's just standing there looking like really disappointed in you, but nevertheless happy that Jerome Jr. is so happy, right? Or the third.
Right.
So what do you do? Anything else in this scene, or just...
I think that I probably am going to try to take the kid into a room where I can avoid my wife ex-wife as much as possible. I'll say hi and maybe say sorry, and then kind of drag the kid away and read him a book or something while trying to sort of ignore her. Or maybe
as you're going in, she'll say, "Jerome, can you just take him? Can you take him with you tonight? I'm trying to have some time with a gentleman caller here this evening, so I would love a few hours with Jerry." We'll say she calls him Jerry.
Oh no, not Jerry.
If you could take Jerry for a few hours, with you, that would be really great.
And I'm like, okay, sure. No problem. Definitely. I'll just get him to school in the morning. That's fine.
Jerry's reaching for your phone. He's like, "What's this picture, Daddy?"
I'm like, you know what? You don't gotta be snatching my phone all the time, kid. That's not cool.
Kaomi will lean over and she'll catch a glimpse of the picture and she'll just like roll her eyes like, oh.
Like, look, I didn't roll my eyes at you. You can see whoever you want. You know?
What are you, Jerome? Are you like 18 now? Come on. And then sexting, that's what they call it, right? Sexting with young,
like,
with young women.
We're I'm not 45. Like, no need to act like we're ancient old senior citizens ready to retire. I mean, I don't judge you for what you do. I don't think that you need to worry about what I'm up to.
Hey, Jerome. And she kind of like says, Jerry, will you give your father and I a minute? And he goes to the room. She says, can I ask you something?
Yeah, sure. Go for it.
What do you know about night noms? I think we'll just cut there. So, Gabby, you've got some interesting information. What do you do? Where do you head?
So I think whenever we stopped, I was asking Langston if I could take care of
right, yeah.
What's the name? Garrett? No.
You wanted something from him, right? Like, you want to take out Gregor. That's right. Yeah.
Gregor. Thank you. I couldn't think of the name.
He's like, well, Gregor's a pretty connected guy. Make a move like that, and you're going to invite some trouble. Are you willing to deal with the blowback from such a move?
Well, I was actually thinking that the two of us together could probably handle the blowback. And as I kind of sit down next to him and lean over.
Babe, I am a man with a position and certain responsibilities related to the special session of the legislature, which is currently going on, as well as responsibilities to our people, to our kind. I cannot afford to get caught up in some kind of war with a necromancer. I don't need the wizards bringing them down my neck.
But surely you know someone who could afford the time that, owes you a favor.
Why do you want to take him out so badly?
Well, he started to encroach on my territory, and whenever I talked to you about it, it sounded like he had gotten important enough that he might be threatening the rest of us. I'm sure a lieutenant will take over in his place.
Well, that's very, very magnanimous of you, Gabby, to be thinking about me like that and us like that. You're good. You're a good vamp.
And I stand back up and I walk back around to the other side of the table and sit back down.
But I don't think this is the right time.
Okay.
And he says, but if he gets to be a bit of a problem, too much to handle, I may come take you up on that.
Okay. I appreciate you thinking of me whenever that time comes. And I think, in the meantime, I think it's time for me to pay a visit to our mutual friend, the programmer.
Please do. And then I think at that point, Tommy, the younger guy's coming back. And he's like, my after dinner is here, is returned.
I think I blow Tommy a kiss and get up and leave.
Right, yeah, good. Cool. So you're pushing Colton under the water, right? I think Frankie, you're going to see, before he makes this move on Colton, I think you're going to see them like wading together ever further out away from the shore. What do you do, Frankie? knowing what you know, knowing that like they might be trying to sacrifice Landon.
I suppose what I'll do is I will turn to Tina and I will say, "Hey, lay off my man."
She's like, "What do you mean? They're just having fun."
We both know that there's crazy stuff in that lake, and I just want to make sure that we got to take care of each other, right? Like that's what this is all about. Come on, it's this guy. He's a good guy. Just let him be. No, don't do this.
And at that point, while you're having that conversation with Christine, Landon, you feel something wriggling beneath your feet. First, beneath the sole, like on the soles of your feet, like a tickle. You thought maybe it was Colton at first. Who knows? But it's moving up. It is. You feel it pressing up against your leg. It is cylindrical. It is long. And there's more than one of them. You feel it. And you can feel Colton kind of like, it's almost like you guys are about to wrestle or something, right? Like he's starting to like grab onto you a little tightly and you're starting to grab onto him a little tightly. Your plan is to basically push him under, right?
Well, yeah, my plan was to like get him to go under like the guise of a blowjob and then just hold him under.
I like that. That's an interesting idea. In any case, let's do keep your cool.
Okay.
Things are getting real. Tell me what you want to avoid right now.
I want to avoid getting pulled under with Colton. I want to kind of stay on top, if that makes any sense.
Sure. Roll plus spirit.
All right, with spirit.
And then after we'll get this roll on the table, then we'll take a break.
Five.
You got a 5?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Let's take a quick break. Let's take 3 or 4 minutes. Did you actually get a 6? I see the text there.
Yeah, because I got +1 forward from that move of mine. So if Frankie wants to
help out,
lend in a hand or something,
yeah.
I mean, maybe she could stir up some trouble.
Yeah,
well,
yeah, because you kind of know what's about to happen, right, Frankie? You have a good you've even kind of helped already by trying to talk Christine out of it, right?
Well, okay, so I forgot about my foretelling move, which I was supposed to do at the beginning of the session, but
right, yeah.
I did it at the beginning of the last session, and I did get 1 hold.
We could just carry that over for this one if you want.
Yeah, and that gives I can declare that something terrible is about to happen.
Yeah.
And then me and my allies can take 1 ongoing +1 ongoing to avoid it. So
that's perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
I clearly have indicated that I believe that something terrible is about to happen, and so I feel like this is a reasonable assumption to make.
So basically, like, it's kind of like Landon would be like had that in the back of his mind while he was wading into the water with Colton, right?
I think what happens is that we have like exchange a look. Like,
yeah.
I look over to the shore as I'm in the water with Colton, and I see you, and you're looking straight at me, and I'm like, oh, okay. And so, yeah,
like, I'm like paranoid, and I'm like freaked out a lot of the time. But you know what I'm saying, what my eyes are saying, what my face is saying at this moment is something beyond that, you know.
So what I do is I'm going to go into my demon form. Do I actually roll for that?
Well, so you have a 7 now on Keep Your Cool, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think, yeah. So yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, it says I'll tell you what it's going to cost you. I think what's going to cost you is you'll be able to sacrifice Colton or push Colton down there instead as you planned, but to do so, I think you're going to have to I think there's a tentacle down there beneath the water that will kind of crush your leg a little bit as you escape from it, right? And so I think it's just going to cause you some harm, basically. Probably 2 harm.
Okay, yeah. So I feel like I've pushed him under the water, and we're kind of in the struggle now, and I feel this tentacle hurting my leg. So I'll take that 2 harm. And then I'm going to go into I'm gonna let the demon out. All right. An 8. So choose 1. Okay. I think I'll just heal that 2 harm. But what I want to do also, and tell me if you think that this requires another roll, is I want to I'm now in my demon form. I've got my claws and my horns have come out, and even though my illusion was kind of being compromised by the weird fairy air around here, now it's completely out for show. I want to rip his arms off and just leave him completely vulnerable to this thing in the lake. So
nice. Okay. That'll probably kill the mood of the party.
Oh yeah. That's great. I'm okay killing this weird mood.
Well, so give me the whole scene. And I think that basically all the Fae are going to freak out and run, essentially.
Yeah, so to an onlooker from afar, we're obviously making out, and then you see, Colton goes in, he pushes him under the water. Oh, that's hot. And then he stays under the water, and there's some splashing, and then you see Landon kind of fall to one side a little bit as his leg gets crushed, and then you just kind of see him start to like bulk up and these horns grow out of his head. And I like to think that maybe like the glare of the sun is in the background, so you just get like a silhouette of like him growing, and then all of a sudden you just see like like this huge spray of blood into the air as he like rips off one arm, and then there's another one. Yeah, and so that's what I'm thinking.
Frankie, that's happening, and it's all bad. And there's a lot of, especially a lot of the humans that were there at the party are screaming and going crazy. Christine and a couple of the other Fae, though, they like train their eyes on you, Frankie, because they knew that you came with him, and they think maybe this is some kind of double cross. And you can see their eyes begin to like glow with this blue fire. These three Fae, and like they're raising up their hands and they're getting ready to cast some Fae magic on you. What do you do?
Hey, you know, I seriously, I told you guys, you shouldn't be doing this. You're messing with shit you don't understand. And no, did you believe me? No, I'm just a human. I don't know anything. You're all powerful Fae. Blah
There's
blah blah.
A bolt of blue fairy magic flies at your head. What do you do?
I duck and like I duck and roll. I'm just like this is not my fight, guys. I just came here to warn Christine, and this is how y'all would pay me. I don't know, man. This is beyond my shit.
The question is, are you going to try to stay and fight them, or are you going to try to escape?
I'm getting the fuck out of there.
I think the opening here is just like the basic chaos of the situation. So roll plus blood.
Okay.
We'll get that roll on the table and we'll come back to it.
All right, that's an 8. So.
All right, so take a look at that. You have to choose a couple things.
Okay.
Back, I'm going to cut real quickly to Kaomi and Jerome.
Yeah, that's Naomi. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I said Kaomi on the sheet. I keep saying it says Kaomi on the sheet, so I've been saying Kaomi.
I swear, I it back. Yeah, I typoed it.
Okay. Naomi. Yeah. We'll get it right eventually. The names of your family.
This typo's gone way too far.
Yeah. Naomi. So, Naomi, she says, "Hey, look, I wouldn't be bugging with this, but I know that you're pretty good at like snooping things out. You have your ear to the ground. But I overheard a really weird conversation the other day with these people I'm working for on the Night Noms people. It was a group of them, and they couldn't hear me. They didn't know I was overhearing them. That I could hear them, but they were talking about moving the Night Noms trucks to the south part of the city so that they can more easily feed. And I thought that was kind of strange, but it sounded like as the conversation went on that they were, well, to quote one of them, it's easier to feed on Mexicans.
Do you remember what these guys looked like?
I mean, yeah, it's just, I mean, like it's a few people that what do they mean? Like, what were they talking about?
Well, you know, if I told you, I don't know if you would believe me. We've been over this, Naomi. Look, I've been telling you about all this shit for ages, but you always treated me like I was a crazy person. Like, are you baiting me right now? You want me to go in and tell you that they're, you know, vampires or the undead or some crazy shit?
Well, are there?
I want to roll to figure somebody out right here.
Okay, go for it. Roll plus one.
That is a 7 plus my mind is going to be a 9. So I get to hold 2, but they hold 1 on me as well, I guess.
Yeah. So I'll just go with mine straight away. I'm gonna ask, how could I get your character to do a thing? She'll say, vampires. Yeah. So vampires, is that what's going on here? I mean, come on. Level with me.
And I'd like to push the question of what does your character might happen here? I mean, like, is she like? I guess my thing is like, I'm gonna take it that she's like actually concerned here, but like as Jerome, I'm a little bit wary because like for ages, like she's been a total denialist about all of this shit.
I think she's worried that you're right. Fundamentally, she is worried about that.
Yeah, and I go, yeah, vampires, and it sounds like they're feeding on Mexicans on the south side of town, and now you're involved in it. If Night Noms is, you're implicated in this now.
Jerome, I don't need your patronizing tone right now, okay?
Patronizing? You gave me a hard time for a whole year about this. You divorced me over this. I could be a little patronizing. I'm sorry. Look, I'm sorry. This is beyond us. It's bigger than us. What else do you know about this?
That's the thing. I think we need more information. What could I do? I mean, what do I have to say to get you to help me out with this thing, Jerome? I mean, come on, like, go investigate Night Noms. Use your skills. This is what you always want to do, right?
And I go, look, if I'm going to investigate Night Noms, I could use some leads. I could use an inn, maybe. I could use especially, if there's any way you can find out who you were talking, who was saying that, who that is. I mean, I'll go in and do my own work on it, but anything, if you can get some concrete information, something for me to go off of, that would also be pretty great.
She's like, all right, yeah, I've got a name for you.
Okay.
And then she says, how about Senator Langston?
That just cut out for a second. What was the name?
So she says, how about Senator Langston?
Senator Langston, you think that he's involved in this?
He's one of the people I overheard talking about it. He seems to be in on it.
All right. Well, look, I'll look into this. That's definitely, I've got a file I've been developing on Langston.
Jerome, I've confronted him about it already. I went to his office.
I would not do that again if I were you. I would probably try to avoid him. I would,
He just denied it. He was very, very polite, but he just denied it. Like it was like I misunderstood what I was saying, or misunderstood. I misheard what they were saying.
Do you think he misunderstood what he was saying?
No, I don't. No, I heard what they said.
Senator Langston is one of the most, one of the most nativist senators there is. He wasn't saying that he liked Mexican food. I'll tell you that much.
And I think she knows she made kind of a mistake, like going directly to him. Right?
I'll look into it, but be careful. Maybe you shouldn't look into this anymore.
Well, so do you take Jerry and go somewhere with him, or what?
Oh yeah, I think me and Jerry are gonna head down to Hippie Hollow.
That's not gonna be good. We'll get to that in a minute. I'd like to fast forward just a little bit then in time and have Gabby be on scene at Naomi's house then.
Well, I wanted to see whether or not Jerome wanted to be there whenever I arrived or not.
Yeah, I was wondering about that too. It seems like maybe in time, like to me, it feels like you would have been, unless you can travel very quickly, you would have been like talking to Senator Langston like longer than Jerome would have been picking up Jerry, right?
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's possible that we could have a run-in at the same time if that would make for a more interesting scene.
If you guys are into that,
I spent some time talking with Naomi. Like it would be manageable. It would be doable.
I was mostly just thinking about getting you guys in scenes with different people. I was thinking,
right. Yeah, I think that might be better if I'm already kind of on the way to the whatever's going on at the lake, maybe.
Well, here's an important question: Did Naomi keep your last name?
No, she never took it.
Yeah, so I think it'd be interesting if you don't know who she is.
Yeah,
right?
That sounds fine.
Yeah.
So I think that Gabby rolls up on this house. She's gotten an address from the internet or something like that.
Yeah.
And rolls up on this house and I think parks her car in front and gets out and knocks on the front door.
And you can hear her like at the door, like, you know, like she kind of like opens the door with a chain lock, right?
Mhm.
And she's, yes, can I help you?
Yeah, a mutual friend sent me to talk to you, and I think that it's important that we do this discreetly. Can I come in?
No, you may not, actually. I don't know who you are. I don't know who our mutual friend is. And it's almost nighttime. So have a nice night. And she closes the door.
I think
Do you have to be invited? Is that a vampire thing?
Oh, no.
Okay.
Unless we want to do that in the fiction.
No, it's fine. I didn't know if that's what you were angling for just then.
Right. I think I knock on the door again, and I say, I promise you that you want to talk to me because you and your family are in danger.
Okay, roll persuade.
Yeah. And I do have a vampire thing. Yeah. So let's see what I get. So that is an 8 plus, what is persuade? Heart?
It is heart, yep.
Yeah, so I think that's a 9.
Okay.
But I treat a 7 to 9 as a 10 plus result whenever I persuade using a promise or seduction.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah.
So, okay, great. So she just has to do it, right? Is that what happens there?
On a hit, they do what you ask.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
You can hear her sliding the chain back, you know. She's like, what do you mean I'm in danger?
Not just you, but the people that you know. This is a concern. Do you have some place we can go? Is there a coffee shop around here? Or in fact, yeah. Is there a coffee shop that you frequent around here?
Yeah, sure. And she'll take you to one.
Yeah, so I make sure I look around and make sure we're not watched or anything, and I take her to this coffee shop. And I tell her, well, if I think you know that some powerful people are looking for you, and I think it's important that you not talk to anyone about this, and that you leave town as quickly as you can, or things are going to get very dangerous for you.
Is this about night noms?
I'm the first one here, but I might not be the last. And I'm the good cop. So I think dangerous things might end up happening. And to be honest, I'm sticking my neck out at this point. Just talking to you. And I think I want to check out what's the check a person.
This could be persuade again too, unless
What is it? Isn't there a way to figure someone out?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think you need to. I mean, I think the reasons you gave her are sufficient to consider it, right? If there's something, unless there's something else you want to know, like what other kind of information are you interested in?
I kind of want to know which direction she's leaning.
Yeah.
If she thinks I'm a crazy person or she's getting rebellious.
No, I think she's probably a little spooked because she just talked to Jerome, who was like freaking out because she talked to the senator, right? So she's probably like primed for this. I think I do need to persuade though.
Okay. So, and this is just going to be a straight persuade, which is a 7.
Okay. They modify the terms of demanded at. She says, okay, I believe you. Thank you for the warning. I thank you. Yes, I've had a bad feeling about this night noms thing ever since I learned what I learned.
What exactly did you learn? I mean, I know that Night Noms is involved with some bad people, and some dangerous people, and they called me to talk to you.
Well, they're moving. They're trying to move the operation down south. They want to start, quote, feeding on Mexicans.
I understand. Yeah.
She sees you, and you're clearly Latina, right? And she's like,
right.
"Do you find that offensive, or?"
No. I'm used to that by now. But so how long do you think it'll be before we can get you packed up? Because you might not have too long to deal with this.
She's like, "Look, I can get my son and I out of here by tomorrow. We can go stay with my mother in Georgetown. It's no big deal. But will you do me a favor?" And she like takes and she like writes down like Jerome's contact information. She says, This is my ex-husband. I used to think he was crazy. He's still a piece of shit. Would you just tell him, like, he also needs to get out of here?"
So I take a look at the piece of paper. I kind of look at her, and I say, well, first of all, Georgetown isn't far enough. And second of all, why do you think he would be in danger?
Just nothing, just because he's connected to me, maybe. I don't know. We don't have any other family in the town, in the city. So.
Okay. So you said
that's how this works, right? They like hit your loved ones and stuff, right?
I don't have a lot of experience with this. So how old is your son?
How old is he? Maybe like 12 or something, Jerome. I'm not sure.
I'm going to say like a little bit younger than that, probably around like 8 or 9.
Okay.
Because if I'm not mistaken, one of the ways that Jerome and I know each other is our relatives play, they had play dates and they hang out at the same school and stuff like that.
Right, yeah.
So her son is, at least one of my relatives knows him.
Yeah. And you probably, maybe you've never met her before, right?
I think that maybe like one of your relatives, like a niece or something, has like babysitted him like now and then.
Yeah. Maybe the one that we saw on the UT campus.
Right. That would make sense. Yeah.
So I think Gabby kind of sits back and looks at Naomi for a little while and kind of, is deep in thought, and then says, well, I'll give Jerome a call, and I hope that you're able to find a safe place tomorrow.
Thank you. We'll cut there. Yeah. So, Frankie, what was your roll on the escape roll? What'd you get?
I got an 8.
An 8. All right. And so, on an escape, choose 2. What'd you choose?
I chose. Goodness gracious me! I chose the. I suppose I'm going to owe someone a debt for my escape.
Okay.
And I feel like I want to mark corruption.
All right. I've got a perfect fictional setup for that, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
All right. So I think at this point, right around this time, and this might be when Jerome was showing up, right, to the party. And stuff is going crazy, right? Maybe stuff starts to get crazy right as you're arriving at Hippie Hollow, Jerome. And you see Frankie, you see Christine and a couple of her Fae pals, and you see Frankie like trying to like back away and run. And the 3 Fae just like they send out like this like blue energy that kind of like smacks into Frankie, and suddenly Frankie has like these thick thorny vines like wrapping all over her arms and her legs and her torso, right? That's where the corruption comes from, Frankie. It's whatever this magical energy is, this spell or whatever. I'm just gonna let you get her free somehow. Jerome, you can just narrate how.
I'm like I'm kind of well equipped for stuff like this. Like at this point, I've seen some shit before. I kind of know what's out there, so I've got like a decent sized like knife that I'm gonna like just like pull out of like I've got like a backpack, quickly like pull that out and just like start cutting her loose basically.
Yeah, nice.
And I'm telling Jerome 3 to run to the car.
Right, yeah.
Change your plan to get Jerome.
I'm not going to take you to the beach where everyone's naked after all.
No, not if there's all this stuff going on. Not if people are having limbs torn from their bodies. No.
Yeah, there's screaming, there's blood, there's chaos. There's a demon in the lake. So Landon,
demons ain't.
Landon, what do you do after you send Colton to his watery death?
Yeah, I think at this point I've come on shore and I'm still in my demon form and my eyes are glowing and I've got this like long tongue coming out of my mouth and I'm just terrorizing these fae.
Nice.
I turn to Jerry and I'm like, with friends like these, man. Oh man.
I mean, look, you could have known what was going to happen. I mean, you bring him out here. I mean, he's got this crazy demon on his back. I mean,
well, you know what, Jerry? These things happen, and I can't control the future. Sometimes I can see that bad shit's gonna happen, but man, what am I supposed to do about this? I just got magicked up, and then my friends in the what is going?
Speaking of your friend in the lake, who's a demon, trying to terrorize all the fae.
Yeah, I've got Colton's arm, and I'm like ripping, like with my claw, I'm like ripping off slivers of flesh, and then like grabbing like veins and tendons and ripping them out of the arm, and like slapping fae with them as I walk.
So while you're doing that, you hear kind of like. Everyone feels like a bit of a tremble in the earth, right? And then you hear like a sort of like a snapping sound, like something being like yanked out of the earth. And there's a big, huge canopy tree that like has uprooted itself and is like walking like towards you, like it has legs and arms. And it's just like just stepping down past the fae. They're kind of running behind it. And it's like interposing itself between you and them. What do you do, Landon?
Oh man. I think seeing a big tree marching towards me. I have wings, so I'm just going to fly away.
To escape. You can go and roll escape.
Yeah. Let's see. What's that move? Roll with blood. Oh God. That's a 6.
All right. Maybe get aid from someone. Jerome or Frankie. You guys see this? What's going on?
Do you guys swing by me?
I mean, Jerome, you may not know anything about like Landon's demon form, and it might be too confusing for you, this whole situation. But Frankie, you know what's up. I mean,
what do you mean swing by? Like, are you like landing now, or are you flying?
He hasn't escaped yet.
I haven't escaped yet.
I'll give him a. Well, is he still in demon form?
Yeah.
I've got little Jerry in the car. I can't let.
So Frankie, it comes down to you. Do you want to try to lend aid, Frankie?
He's got deaths on me though, doesn't he? I mean, you could. I think
we could actually consider this to be all part of the foretelling too, and that would bump you up to a 7, right? Because you have +1 going.
Right, yeah, because
this is all part of the same bad like, situation.
Right, that the fae are trying to fucking kill you.
Yeah, if your foretelling was like more broad, like this whole situation is bad, right?
Yeah, I think that's where I'm going. Sure.
I'll give him a ride, but only if he pushes one of those debts, because I'm not going to otherwise let Demon Landon in the car with little Jerry.
Well, so
I'll push a debt too. I'll do that.
Well, so hold on a second. So like we're saying that you're getting a +1 for foretelling to your escape roll, which would push you up to a 7. So you have to choose 2 then.
Okay. I'll owe someone a debt for my escape, and I give into my base nature and mark corruption. Yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, give me the scene, and give me the scene, and however you narrate it, that's who you'll determine who you owe debt to.
Okay, so this tree is marching towards me, and I just grab the nearest Fae, and I like to think it's some woman who was running towards me with her glowing blue eyes or whatever. She was a brave one, but unfortunately, I pick her up and rip her. I grab one arm and I grab one leg and I just rip her in half, and then I throw the pieces of her at this tree that's marching towards me, and I let out this like really terrible screech and turn, and with like my piercing light eyes, I look straight at Jerome and I'm like, you better wait for me.
Get me out of here.
Yeah, get me out of here.
Well, so then Jerome, how do you like get him out of there?
Does the demon fit in the car?
Sure.
I can go out of demon form.
Yeah, you can snap out of demon form, but
okay. I guess I'll give him a ride out of there. Like, I think I maybe he lands in, at the edge of wherever this parking area is, and I kind of pull it like this crazy reverse turn, and I'm like, look, if you want to ride, hop in.
In my demon form, I land on your car, and then I slip in through the window, and when I slip into the car, I'm no longer demon form. I'm just bloody and naked. Yeah, that's better.
I just keep on repeating, close your eyes, Sherry. Just keep your eyes closed.
And I'm in the back seat, and you just land on me naked, and I'm just like, Landon, you gotta stop this. You gotta stop this shit.
I swear this is the last time.
Well, so let's have that scene in the car. You guys are hastily driving away from this this Fae party gone awry. Jerome, do you try to call out to Christine or anything before you guys leave? Do you look for her, or out of curiosity?
I've only got so much room in this car right now. I think maybe I'm keeping an eye out. Do I see her anywhere?
You would have seen her as one of the ones who cast a spell on Frankie, right?
I think that I just gotta peel out of there and worry about the rest of this in the morning. This has already gotten hairy enough.
I think little Jerome is I think he's there squeezed between you and maybe naked Landon, I'm not sure, and he's kind of freaked out, he's kind of oh my god, but then at a certain point he'll be I think he kind of gets his nerve up a little bit. He's seeing all this stuff happen out the window as you guys pull away, and he kind of turns to you and says, Dad, that was really cool.
I go, don't tell your mother anything about this. Don't tell anybody about any of this stuff, or they're gonna think you're crazy. They're gonna think I'm crazy. They're gonna think we're both crazy.
Indeed. He'll just nod, yeah. Where do you guys go? Where do you take them?
I think, I mean, unless either of them wants to be dropped off somewhere else, like, I'm going to be heading back just generally to my place.
Right.
What like random piece of clothing do I use from your car?
What random
from your dadmobile?
I think I've got like, I mean, I probably have to like, you know, dress up now and then. So I've got like a you know, a decent like collared shirt like in the back, and like a, you know, like a blazer next to it that is kind of like, you know, lying there in the back seat.
Yeah, yeah. So you look back, and I'm putting on your nice clothes and getting them all messy.
And I just kind of like sigh when I see that. Like, I've seen like enough shit today.
You've had a long day. Frankie, what do you do? Where do you guys want to be dropped off, or do you want to just go back with Jerome? Like, where are you all headed?
I'm going back with Jerome, man. I don't want to go back to my place.
I'm down to unwind. Like, I think I'm going to be like stopping by like the liquor store and like picking up like a bottle of wine or 2 bottles of wine on the way back.
Yeah, I'm on that level. I am on that level, my friend. Jerry, you've got what it takes.
Yeah, I think I asked him to drop me off kind of in the neighborhood where I had met Carl, I guess.
Oh, right. So that's kind of like around downtown area, right? Like by that hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was like a businessman. So
he was a contractor. I think he was probably staying in the hotel, right?
Okay, yeah. I asked him to drop me off there.
Yeah,
at the Driscoll.
In the back in the alley, because I can't exactly walk the street right now.
Awesome.
Okay, cool.
I think I had like the dress shirt and the jacket back there, but I didn't have any pants.
Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, I'm kind of pulling it down. Gotta get some more cover.
So Charlie is still at the Driscoll. I'm gonna pick up on that scene. Charlie is still at the Driscoll, and you get dropped off in the alley. And the Driscoll's like, you know, it's not like some tower. It's like maybe, you know, 3 or 4 stories, right? And he's at, you know, he's got like in a suite on the top floor, and he calls down to you. He says, "You look like you've had a rough night."
You're muted.
You said he calls down to me. Is he like?
He's like just on his balcony. Yeah.
Oh, okay. He can like see me. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like.
He knows you're there, right? I mean,
I look up at him, and it's just kind of like when a cat with their laser eyes looks at you, except it's my demon eyes. I look at him, and I'm like, I'm ready.
He's like, "You did a good job with that Fae. I like your style. It was a very, very informative experience for me."
It was fun turning their manipulations into their horror like that.
You can see him. You know he's smiling, even though he's kind of high up, calling down to you. He says, "Well, why don't you go ahead and come up and let me reward you for your excellent behavior this night."
Okay, and so I look around. I'm still in this alley, and I think I just is there like an entrance back here to like the stairs or something?
Yeah. He'll let you in.
Okay, yeah. So I'll go on up. And I'm like, "Is that Carl guy still here?"
He's like, "Yeah, I assume he's still arguing with his wife. Yeah, we can worry about Carl later." And then he like kind of he's already like ready to go to bed, you know. and he kind of like, lays on the bed, and he's like, so I thought it'd be nice if you spent the night with me.
Oh, the night. Okay, yeah. That's great. And I start to go towards the bathroom. Like I should just clean up.
Yeah, you can clean up and everything. Is there anything you want to do when you're cleaning up, or?
Yeah. So I go into the shower, and I look at the sink where I had turned it on before to make the noise.
Right. Yeah.
I'm having a bit of a flashback to that, and then I turn around and turn on the shower and ditch these bloody clothes that I stole from Jerome.
Good. I've got a little bit more I want to do in that scene, but we'll come back to it.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, well, so you guys are all, or the two of you are, actually, let's go to Gabby. Gabby, once you've warned off Naomi, what are you up to? Night is young.
Yeah, so I think what this looks like is I warned off Naomi. I saw her back to her house. I take off in my car. And then I'm just a block away or so, and I pull over to the side of the road, and I start texting Jerome. And I'm, is your son with you? Is he safe? And stuff like that. I assume at this point Jerome's in the middle of a mess. So I think I'm going to be at Jerome's place waiting for him to come home whenever the two of them show up.
All right, so then we'll have all three of you there then. As you all enter Jerome's apartment, Frankie and Gabby, what do you see that lets you know in Jerome's apartment? What do you see that lets you know he's not accustomed to living by himself?
Well, there's a fruit bowl, right? And there's fruit in it, but it's not edible anymore. It's just yeah. There are fruit flies, and but the fruit is pretty yeah.
Nice.
That's what I noticed.
So I think what I notice is that when we walk into the place, on the coffee table, there's a couple of bottles of empty wine, and then all these wine glasses, 6 or 8 wine glasses, and they are one of them is used, obviously, and one of them's empty. And this seems like a habit where he picks up a couple of wine glasses and a bottle of wine and comes out and sets both of them down, and then he fills his up and drinks a bottle of wine, which he's not used to. And yeah.
Jerome, for you, what do you see in the apartment that you could never get away with when you lived with Naomi?
I think he's just got dirty clothes out here and there, not in a pile. It's just, but he's got a couple of shirts on the couch, maybe a pair of pants in the corner of the room. Yeah.
Nice. Let's just have the scenes. You're all there. Just role play.
So I think that little Jerry's here, right? So I think I'm going to sit down with him and play a little bit. And it might be getting past his bedtime. So I'll say, I think it's time for you to go brush your teeth and, put on your PJs. And as soon as he leaves the room, I turn to...
When you say that, I go, good call, Gabby.
And I turn to Jerome and I say, what have you done? This is a mess.
I've done very little, actually. Things are actually going pretty decent around here. Just was, picked up the kid afterwards. Figured I'd go drop by, see how Christine's doing. She wasn't doing very well, I would say. And now I am.
No kidding.
And now I'm standing here cutting up these rotten limes so I can pour some mezcal and squeeze a little lime on it.
No. What I'm talking about is somehow you and yours have attracted the attention of an ire of someone who is very powerful.
I wouldn't. You talking about Naomi? I wouldn't say me and mine about that one.
You don't count little Jerome as one of.
Well, Jerome certainly, but he's not on the radar, is he?
Anyone attached to Naomi and her family are probably in trouble. I was sent to go meet her tonight, and she gave me your contact information. She's going to need to leave town, and you might need to leave town too.
You think it's that bad? I can't leave town. I'm in the middle of so much right here.
Frankie, what are you doing during all this?
Well, I'm packing a bowl, and I'm just like I'm listening to this, and I say, so there's just a lot going on right now, Gabs, and I know that we're all trying to survive here, but man, like there's something real evil going down with them Fae, and Tina's crazy. Tina is like legit. Like I think she's evil. Man, and we gotta. This is not working out. And then I pull from the bowl, and I'm just like, yeah. So, and then I give the bowl to Jerome, and I'm like, well, what are we gonna do?
And I'll hit it, and I'll go, Jerome, or I'll go, evil's a really strong word here. I don't know if I would say that she's evil.
And I think I lean over. Gabby's going to lean over and take the bowl away from Jerome and say, now might not be a good time for that, Daddy. And hand it back to Frankie. Being evil isn't necessarily the worst thing in the world. However, crossing evil might not be a good idea.
It's we all gotta be better people, and that's like, I know, being a person is hard, Gabs. For you, I get that. We're a couple of mortal people ish, and but it's overwhelming. I gotta say, all of this is overwhelming.
Yes. So I think I'm
going to take a swig of the.
Go ahead.
Oh, and I'd take a swig of the liquor and I go, yeah, you're damn right. This is overwhelming. I just saw a man get ripped in half by a demon. You're saying that my current girlfriend is evil, and I point to Gabby, you're saying that my ex-wife and kid are being hunted down by vampires. Yeah, you bet your ass this is overwhelming. It's not even talking about the freaky museum guy who's, probably got it out for me as well. You saw those freaky maggot things earlier. Yeah, I would say this is a little bit overwhelming. I would agree.
Maggot thingies?
Oh God, there's, like I said, you're already overwhelmed. You don't need to worry about the maggot things. And I look at Gabby and I go, look, so Gabby, who told you that they've got it out for my ex-wife? Who's going after her?
I think we are.
No, but who told you that she was in danger? Who's putting her in danger? Who's making these threats?
This could be a great cash in a debt situation against Gabby,
exactly.
Right?
Yeah. I think you've got a bunch.
I've got plenty, so I might as well spend one, and I will. Where is it? Oh man, I'm down to, after I spend this one, I'm down to 2. This is.
Oh no.
So yeah, I'm like pointing at you, and I'm like, you gotta tell me who this is. My family's at stake. You gotta tell me everything you know about them.
Well, I owe you, and I know that our families are close, so I don't want anything bad to happen to either. So I think I take a look at Frankie and judge. It's probably okay to say this in front of her, and I say, well, one of the vampire leaders is Langston, and he seems to be moving in on territory south of the river.
Holy shit!
And I think that your family, I was asked to go make sure that your family didn't cause any ripples. And there's two ways that happens. Your family disappears, or your family is dead.
Family disappears, or your family disappears.
That's right. And the next person that comes along, might not feel the same way I do. So the sooner the better. I think, and are you going to take on the government? Are you going to take on the Coven of Vampires? I'm not sure that's a thing you could do. So I think that this is a challenge, and I think the best thing to do is probably leave town.
As you're saying this, I very quickly finish my drink. And
Gabs.
Yes, Frankie.
Gabs.
Yes, Frankie.
So I don't think it's just. I think you're in danger too. So here's the thing. I don't remember if I told you. These things, they slip my mind. So I had a vision. And I think your buddies up top are gonna turn on you. You're just as much in danger as Jerry here. The upper peeps up in the top of the vampire echelons, they're not happy with you. I don't know why, or they're about to not be happy with you. They're gonna betray you. There's some bad shit's gonna happen to you and your family, Gabby. I know that. So that's something. I don't know if I told you. Now I have. You know now. Thank you. Sorry.
Is that a false prophecy?
No, that's a true prophecy. That's part of my. Actually, that's part of my debt thing.
Yeah, the character creation debt stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So Gabby sits there for a second and looks a little pale and goes, "Fuck." Well, it might be this. What's happening right now that just burned everybody. So.
Well.
Shit.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of dug your own grave, so to speak. I mean, I could have told you earlier, but I don't know if that would have changed anything. I don't know how, this stuff works. It's all very confusing, and I hardly know whether it's yesterday or today or tomorrow yet. So, Gabs, I'm sorry, but, I think we gotta do something about this, because these guys aren't good. These guys aren't good. I'm already trying to take down this necromancer, and now I have to take down all the vampires. How are we gonna do this, Gabs? How are we gonna do this?
Frankie, if you don't tell me about the necromancer, I won't tell you about the maggot people. Let's not do it too much
Okay.
on the plate.
All right.
I'm gonna interject here, and I'll present you all with the possibility that this scene could lead to something more intimate. Like you're all kind of sitting around getting high, which is a sort of intimacy on its own.
Yeah.
Or at least Frankie is, and
I've probably snuck in a hit there.
yeah. So if you guys feel like this like sharing and caring and smoking pot counts as intimacy, I'll let you all fire off your intimacy moves, which would that'll give you a couple of you marks on factions as well as doing your intimacy move. So make a decision on that. Think about it. We're gonna take a quick break and we'll come back and pick up with Landon. Okay.
Okay.
Right, cool.
I tried to find a good picture of Neil Patrick Harris for Charlie.
Any luck?
Kinda. I found one from American Horror Story that I put up there. But he's a little sultry, I guess. I don't know.
Is it the Freak Show one where he's got the guy liner on?
Yeah, it is.
Let's see here. Oh yeah, that's.
Is that what?
I imagined him more as like on How I Met Your Mother, but
Hey, I've got another one. Well, I want him to look creepy, and he's always like a dork in half the pictures he's in. So
yeah.
I've got
that works fine too. I'm into it. Jen, are you back?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay, cool. So Landon, you finish your shower, I guess, and then come back out into the room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What's he doing?
He's sitting at the dining table in the suite. He started drinking really early, if you'll recall. He started drinking like really early in the day when you first found him with Carl. And he's a little like, even though he's like a demon, like this stuff, like human spirits like really affect him, right? In a way. Like and you can tell he's like fretting, he's brooding, you know. He's like, you know, this Carl situation's not done, right? It is the most ironic thing in the world that I have all of this power at my fingertips and I still have to deal with finances and contractors and all the sorts of normal economic things that people have to deal with.
Do you want some? Do you want me to go get some more ice for you?
No, I'm done drinking. I gotta stop. You know how this stuff gets to me. It's you know, you get on your. Used to be I could go, I don't know, 30, 40 drinks and be okay. But now I get 20, 25 and I'm down for the count, you know. I'm getting too old. That's the problem. Too old. And he kind of stands up. How are you dressed right now? How'd you come out of the bathroom?
I don't think that Landon has any regard for modesty around Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no need for it even.
He walks up to you and he's definitely like a little tipsy, right? And he looks like he's about to like if he's lays down, he's gonna pass out, right? And he kind of like goes up to you and he says, "You have the prettiest blue eyes, Landon. Has anyone ever told you that?"
And Landon, I think what Landon does is he kind of looks away and he says, "That's what my mother used to tell me."
What was she like?
And I kind of give him this look and a shrug, and I say, "Well, she was crazy in her weird religious way. I didn't spend much time with her after I was a kid."
I used to have a Siberian Husky with blue eyes like that.
You used to have a dog?
Yeah, I used to have a dog. Is that so surprising?
It's a little
like me companionship. I really love that dog too.
What happened to it?
it's not worth getting into. You're kind of like my little dog now, aren't you?
I guess. I mean, I'll do whatever you want me to do.
Good. Good. Because now you've got me in mind of, well, since we're both reminiscing here, you've put me in mind of when I used to have a dog. I miss that dog. And he goes and sits on the edge of the bed. And I'm spending a night here. He says, I want you to be my little dog tonight, at least till I pass out. The moderate cost is your dignity.
Yeah, okay, so this is how it goes. This is how Landon reacts. So Landon kind of freezes and he's like looking, and there's this very extremely brief moment where he's like, is he kidding? And then he realizes that he's not. And Landon doesn't want to do like anything to make him think that he doesn't want him to do it. So yeah, so he like immediately like gets down on the ground and just kind of like is sitting on his knees on the ground, and he's like this.
He's like, yeah, like bark and stuff, you know.
And so you can see that Landon is starting to sweat. And so he makes this bark noise, like he's like, "Rah, rah."
That's good. And he'll kind of like he's like laying on the bed, and he's like totally falling asleep, right? While you're like sitting here acting like a dog on the floor. He's like, when I wake up, you better be sleeping at the foot of the bed.
Rough.
And then he just passes out.
Is he?
I'm cutting away.
Okay. All right.
So back at the Pot Palace, did you guys like decide on the intimacy moves? Do you guys want to do that or what?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense for me, or it makes sense to me.
Yeah, and I think that Gabby also wants to do that. She basically, this is a very vulnerable spot that she's not used to, where she's in danger and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. So is this going to be? Let's see how the intimacy moves go for each of you, and see what makes sense in terms of what fires off.
I think it's more corruption.
Yep. yours is easy. I think you have to mark 2. If you take both of them, it's 2, right?
Take both of what?
If you're going to consider it as intimacy for both.
Well, the question though is with Frankie, we've established that she's got mortality as like a second faction. How does that interact with that? I guess it's not mortal enough. I can take 2.
Let's see. Because she's power, right?
Yeah, she's power. Yeah, but too.
Yeah. When you share a moment of intimacy,
power, but like also mortal, so it's a little bit.
Oh, who is not mortal? Oh, yeah, okay. So it would just be 1 because it's not like capitalized mortality. So, yeah.
Right.
Okay, cool. And so Gabby, what happens on your intimacy moves?
It is I tell them a secret about myself or owe them a debt. Either way, they enter my web and owe me a debt.
We'll go ahead and make those notes for both of them, and then decide how you want that to play out with them.
Yeah.
And then what does yours do, Frankie?
I gain a specific and clear vision about that person's future, and I can ask up to 3 questions about the vision, marking corruption for each.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Up to 6 corruption points in one go.
Do it how you wish. Okay, so all right, so Jerome, let's just do this in order. Jerome, you're sorted on the corruption, and then you're gonna mark power faction, right? Because you also mark factions on the
yeah. Oh right, okay, cool.
And then Gabby, you're going to mark on power as well.
I get to mark on night.
Yep. Which means the two of you are getting advances. Gabby, how do you want yours to sort out?
Yeah, so basically what this looks like is I think that so Jerome is aware of my family. They played together, that kind of stuff. But I'm not sure he understands the connection level that I have with them. So I think he understands a little bit more about my motivation into this regarding taking care of his family so that my family's okay, and trying to figure out a way to get my family into a safe space. So I think it's that level of worry.
Yeah, of course.
And I think just basically outing the family to Frankie is the whole process.
Yeah. In terms of so mechanically, you're going to do.
So I think it's a secret to both of them.
Okay, good.
I think the secret to Frankie is my family. And I think the secret to Jerome is the depth of attachment to my family.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then they both enter your web, right?
Yeah.
And owe you a debt. So. And
I noticed in the web, there's something about at the start of a session, you choose someone in the web and learn a secret about them that they'd rather keep buried.
Did you have somebody in your web at the start? Or
I had a couple of people like Jeffrey and Charlie, but that was about it. It hasn't gotten interesting until now.
We can resolve it we can do it next week. It's
yeah.
Go with it then. Let's talk about Frankie then. So Frankie, yours is. All right, let's see here. Gotta pull up the character, the oracle. You share a moment of intimacy with another person. You gain a specific and clear vision about that person's future. You can ask up to 3 questions about the vision, mark corruption for each. It doesn't say who has to inform the fiction here, though.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or maybe you just like ask me questions and then I tell you, I guess.
That's my assumption.
I think that's what it is. Yeah. So who do you want to start with?
Well, I'm going to start with Gabs.
Okay.
And my first question is, when I mean, I guess, like, are you gonna give me the structure of this vision, or should I?
Yeah, it's. Let's look at the book. I'm not really sure how to handle this, if I'm being honest. I've never had this fire off, and I don't know how it works. So, I don't even have the book handy. Hold on. Because sometimes they have like a playing the oracle, like thing in the text. Let's see here. Let's see if we can find it. I'll give that a minute. But it sounds like maybe I'm supposed to like tell you like something big picture, and then maybe you like ask like clarifying questions, I suppose. But it seems kind of weird for the GM to put that big of a like, or that tight of a frame on a specific character's situation, right? Like that seems weird. But I think I'm interpreting that correctly.
But yeah, we are working with an oracle, so it's just kind of.
Let's see here.
Dealing with time is weird.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so let's just go. Let's just do it that way. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. I don't want to take time looking this up. We'll figure it out later. Okay. So let's go with this. Jerome. Yeah.
Gabs.
Oh, Gabs. Okay. So you're going to see a vision of. I think you're going to see a vision of Gabs basically You can see a vision of Gabs in it's like a dark room, okay? A dark black room. You can't tell how big the room is because there's just a single overhead light that lights up the room, right? And Gabby is tied to she's strapped down to a sort of stainless steel table, okay? And you see a bunch of men and women, including one you recognize, Evelyn, from the Spider House Cafe, but some other some other men and women too. You see them all converge around Gabby, right? And one of them, I think Evelyn, steps forward, and you know her to be so nice and friendly, right? And she looks at Gabby and says, "I'm sorry, my dear, but the verdict was guilty." And then another one steps forward and he just pulls like a big wooden stake from behind his back. And then that's where the vision goes. So do you want to ask any questions? If I'll answer them, then you have to mark corruption for each one.
Right. What is she guilty of?
Gabby will be guilty. She's guilty of basically turning against her people, turning against her kind, which is like the worst thing you can do as a vamp. Mark 1 corruption.
Okay, yeah.
Any more?
What? And another question would be, I suppose, I don't know. Yeah, I guess another question would be, no, I don't have any other questions for this. Yeah.
And vision for Jerome?
Yeah, vision for Jerome.
You see Jerome yelling and screaming and kicking and going crazy as two white smocked, white uniformed orderlies drag him across a hospital or institution floor, and he's kicking and going nuts and like repeatedly yelling, "There's nothing wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with me." And they just like sedate him and drag him into a room.
Where is his kid?
The camera in your vision pans and you see Naomi and Jerome III watching this, and Jerome III is just crying and like hugs his mother tightly. Mark 1 corruption.
All right, I'm good.
Okay. Let's have one more scene with Landon. Landon, Charlie passed out while you were barking and making dog motions. What do you do?
Yeah. I look at him and then I look out to the open balcony and I can hear the sounds of the city and I can see like the night sky. And so I I grab one of the robes and then I go on the balcony and I'm going to to see if I can. So is Carl here at this hotel
He's
still?
at the hotel. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I put on the robe, and
you can know where he's at. Like you can know where his room is if you want. It's fine.
Yeah. So I walk down the hallway, and I get to his room, and I knock on his door.
He answers. He says, "Oh, it looks like he was not asleep or anything. It's still fairly early in the evening, actually." And he opens the door, and he's like in his boxers or whatever, and he's like, "Oh, hey, yeah, you're Charlie's friend, right?"
Yeah. Look, I was just hoping that, after what happened earlier, it would be cool to just talk and
He's like, yeah, no, hey, look, I mean, I know that was kind of a weird, awkward situation back there, but I've got good news. I think my wife and I think we're going to work it out, Like we've been talking all night.
That's great.
And like, we kind of figured out that like, we just haven't been communicating very well, and we were laughing, and for the first time in God, what felt like years. And
has he let me in yet?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, yeah. So I closed the door behind me. That's great. And then
he's like, I think we're gonna get it all worked out, man. I think for once things are gonna shape up for Carl,
And after I closed the door behind me, I turn into my demon form.
And do what? How do you want that to end? Carl can't resist you.
Okay. I'm going to
just give us the closing shot of the episode of the show. What happens to Carl?
I think there's like flashes of him being terrified, and I think what you can gather from the flashes is that I managed to freak him out so much that he jumps off of his balcony and kills himself.
Wow. He just like runs and falls off the balcony.
Yeah. And then I'm going to just go back to Charlie's room and take off the bathrobe and lay on the floor, and that's it.
Okay, good. I think that's in the spirit of your drama moves. So I'm going to make you mark corruption. It's not quite
okay.
It's not quite persuading as much as doing a really terrible thing for your patron. Anything else before we wrap? Is everybody good?
Yeah, I think I'm good.
All right, cool. Let's do the end of session then. All right, if you learn something meaningful about a faction, increase your score in that faction by 1, and decrease your score in a different faction by 1. And then if you think that you did anybody a favor at a cost, tell the group, and the other way around as well. So let's just go through it. What's it looking like for factions there, Gabby?
I think actually I learned more about night.
It's really quiet for some reason. I'm not sure why.
Sorry. So I think I learned more about night.
No, we still can't hear you.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Wait, just super quiet.
Quietly. I heard that you're going for night.
Yeah, I'm going for knight.
Okay. Awesome. And what are you going to lower?
I'm going to lower wild.
Okay, cool. I think I got that wild. Awesome. And Frankie, what about you?
That's a good question. I think, gosh, because I learned a lot about wild and night.
True.
So
And mortality, really, in a way.
Yeah. So I'm confused here.
Well, the Fae are technically power, aren't they? Right?
No, fair wild.
No.
Okay.
Wild. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna boost my knight to 0, and then drop my power to 1.
Cool. What do you think, Jerome?
I've definitely learned the most about blood, really, or not blood, but night. With kind of all this info on the vampires, which seems to me like what I'm kind of honing in as the direct threat to my family, at least.
Yeah.
And I guess I would lower either power or wild. I think I'm a little bit more wary.
Oh, go ahead.
What?
I was going to say power because you saw wild go crazy in the river.
Right, exactly. I'm a little more wary of wild now, so I think that one stays at a 1.
Yeah. Landon, what about you?
So I already have wild at 3, but I feel like what I saw the most of was wild. So I don't know if it could go higher than 3.
I don't know. Let's look at the move. Generally, I think things don't go higher than 3. So, I mean,
yeah, that'd be weird.
Leave it? I mean,
yeah, I guess so. I mean, if anything, I haven't really engaged with power at all, so I would possibly subtract 1 from that.
Well, you have been hanging out with Frankie, though.
But she's not power, is she?
Yeah, she's power.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's who do you know better, not who do you know most, right? So
right. Okay, I guess I do kind of know power a little bit better.
What with Grigor, learning about Grigor and his shit and all that, yeah.
I'll subtract 1 from Knight because I haven't engaged with Knight really at all.
Okay. All right. So you've got a real like wild distribution there.
Yeah.
Yeah, my goodness.
All right, awesome. Okay, cool. I don't know if I don't think I have time to jump on a Discord tonight. But does anybody have any debts or anything they want to call out before we go?
I feel like the whole thing with Jerome letting me in his car and steal his clothes and everything, I feel like either he repaid a debt or I owe him a debt, like one or the other. Or
so I took off one of the debts that I owe you. Do we think that it'd be like more for that because of the clothes, or what? I already took off one of the ones that I owe you.
Okay, all right. So I'll just put in my thing that you owe me 2 debts. Okay.
Yeah. Maybe I didn't then. I owe 2.
And then I think I owe you a debt as well from that move. Like it says to pick someone who I owe a debt to. That was one of the choices I selected, and I think it should probably be you.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And I also owe you.
And what was that?
Oh yeah, I gave you a red too.
I owe Jerome a debt. Or should I just I mean, what's the can we both owe each other debts?
I already owe you one on that.
Okay. Yeah, then I'm just gonna owe you one as well.
We both can. Pretty fortuitous that I showed up with the car right then.
It totally was, yeah.
That's convenient.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Great. Well, that was super fun. I'll probably, if I get on chat, it's not going to be for like another 5 minutes or so. I'm going to go grab a snack. But so if anybody wants to meet there for Discord debrief, we can do that. If nobody shows up, then I'll go to bed.
Have a good night. I got